I think we showed that today, and we showed that the last month as well.
To do it actually there under pressure after City winning yesterday, a different story. So I'm really pleased. It's a really young team, but I think today they played like a really mature team, and that's a big step to do it against this opponent.
Still with the goal first, what on earth is going on here?
It's embarrassing from a Chelsea point of view. I mean, so many players could have cleared it, but didn't. I mean, it wasn't even a great ball in. But just have a look at Cucurella in there with Xhaka. He doesn't move at all. I mean, it should be cleared anyway, whether it's Havertz or Silva or Jorginho. And the keeper really hasn't got no chance. But just watch Cucurella. He doesn't move at all. He just holds Xhaka. There's nothing at all from him. Look.
It literally says, my man is not going to score. But he's taken that literally. The ball's an inch from him. All he has to do is move an inch to his left and he can clear it. I don't know what he's thinking there at all.
They struggled, did Chelsea, but Arsenal were excellent in so many different areas. And there's one stat that really stands out, and then which is that they had 16 high turnovers. So that means, because I know you don't like these stats sometimes, that means they won it back 16 times in the final third, which is more than they've done in any other game this season.
Arsenal now have character. I spoke about them last week in this 4-3-3 formation. But when they're going and pressing, Partey is so important in terms of what they do. Anytime the ball's in the middle of the pitch, he's the first one to put the press on. Then they can go on the attack, and it happened time and time again today. He always seems to be in the right position, nullifying attacks from Chelsea. And it's not only that, when he gets on the ball, he's got that composure, then one-touch, two-touch passes. But this is brilliant. Zinchenko comes out, obviously he's going to the wide man, then Gabriel's going across, but Partey, he senses that danger to come across, fill in, to stop the run from Loftus-Cheek. Arsenal win it back. This is the most intelligent one. Jesus, we talk about pressing the purpose, and what that means is cutting off the danger. He's cut off that danger, so they can't play out. Thiago Silva has got no chance because he's got the Arsenal players pressing high up the pitch. What happens? Gabriel wins the ball, plays in by Saka, which then, this is what leads to the corner for the goal. Zinchenko coming out, pressing really high. Who's behind him? Partey. Xhaka in there as well, had an excellent game. But we talk about Arsenal have been weak, or people have before, but now this is a team that actually looks like they could be challenging for the Premier League.
But the other thing in all of that, just on highlighting that Gabriel Jesus cutting off two options on the pass, which led to the corner to the goal. So much discussion at the moment about how he hasn't scored in however many number of Premier League games is. But Gabriel Jesus' role within the Arsenal team is more than just putting the ball in the back of the net.
Jesus was absolutely everywhere today. He popped up on the left, on the right, down the centre. It's the moves that he makes, and he works so hard. At times, they're going to need him to put the ball in the back of the net. He started the season on fire. But when you've got other people contributing to the team, that's exactly what Arsenal need right now.
He just sends them into the trap. That is perfectly worked from an Arsenal point of view. He's not showing him that way. He's showing him straight up the pitch where all the other guys are marked, and he's saying, yeah, that's exactly where I want you to go. I'm going to have my body position and not allow you to go the other, and it worked perfectly for them.
Is it same old story for Chelsea then? Is this a bit Groundhog Day of just lacking some kind of fluency going forward?
Well, they could have still been there now and they wouldn't have scored. Such was their lack of quality in the final third. They got into one or two decent positions, not many, but when they did, their final ball was terrible. I mean, I don't think it's a difficult pass to roll that across there. Look what happens from Havertz. It's an awful ball, and you got 3v3 here. Chelsea against Arsenal, 3v3. But look how many touches Havertz has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all of a sudden, because you don't move the ball quickly and you have too many touches, all of a sudden it's 7 against 3. And the chance is gone. And that was far too easy for Arsenal getting men back behind the ball. And I don't think this is a difficult ball either. With the quality at this level, it's a simple ball, a little clip in behind, but no, straight into the goalkeeper. Similar thing again, they win the ball back in a good position. play that ball in behind so he's running the other way. He's actually on the half turn. But because it's slow, because the player then has to come back, then the chance has gone. Loftus-Cheek is looking for options in this position. He doesn't get them at all. He looks up, there's nothing there. The only thing he can do is try and buy and win a free kick for his team. He does that. Okay, then they get the free kick. Again, I mentioned the good position. Azpilicueta does really well to get in behind. But that final pass, when you're looking for the quality on the delivery, there's nothing there. Look where it goes. So today they had no chance of scoring. They were really poor in forward position.
They're going to have a lot of players at the World Cup. But bearing in mind the complete restructure that the club have gone through off the field, will the break help them, do you think? Must help them off the field.
It'll help them off the field just to calm things down and work on a few things. But they're going to have that many players away. It's going to be very difficult for the manager.
Played, I think the way the team showed maturity, composure, dominance and a real character to impose ourselves on the pitch.
Is this the day there was a shift in Arteta's perception of what his team could potentially do this season?
I think it was. I think up until this point he's believed he's got a developing team who are attacking the Premier League in a brilliant way, getting the results, playing in the manner, as he said again today, that he wants to see his team play in. But now going to the likes of Chelsea and coming away with 3 points, and deservedly so. Yeah, deservedly so. I think he's come out himself and says we are now in the title race, and that's a big moment for him and for Arsenal. It's one thing getting a bye and getting the results and playing well, but once you make that statement, you add a lot of different pressures. But he obviously feels his team are there and are ready to cope with that kind of pressurised situation.
And if you are, listen, Manchester City, an outstanding team, and I still think probably everybody in the country thinks that Manchester City will win the league. But if any other team are going to have a chance of winning the league, does the manager not need to challenge his own players rather than hiding away from it? That's what I'm saying. You need to do that, don't you? Rather than hiding away from it.
Yeah, I think he is now, and I think he's talking slightly differently. He's starting to believe. The players are starting to believe. So he needs the players to know that he believes, and they need to get on board. He's got some good individuals, but as a team, they look better than the individuals they have. If that makes any sense, because everybody's contributing to really good team performances, and I'm seeing stuff from Arsenal now, grit and determination and game management, going into the corner, nicking a bit of time. Clever play.
And goals from set pieces, and 1-0 away from home. It's probably your thinking is when you two were playing, weren't they? That Arsenal turn up sometimes and win 1-0 and get the goal and then defend really resolutely. And it's amazing how much we talk about football and patterns and shape and so forth. Set pieces are still so critical, as Arsenal showed today with their winning goal.
Yeah, you're right. 1-0 to the Arsenal set piece goal back in the day. But, you know, Arsenal look so well coached all over the field. Defensively, they look brilliantly set up. In an attacking sense, you've seen how free-flowing they are. And then from set pieces, if you can make the difference in these crucial moments that can certainly be worked on the training ground, good delivery, players attacking the right areas, players being brave, getting in where it might hurt, and ultimately scoring the goal.
What about the defending, though?
Do you want to see that again because of Cucurella and Xhaka?
It's a great spot.
Because it is.
Yeah, I'm frustrated with Cucurella. I mean, quite often in the modern day of defending, players are just happy to mark their man, and if he doesn't score, then that's it. You know, they've done their job. I just felt Cucurella could just come a yard away, and he could just kick this ball, just come away from him and kick that ball clear with your left foot, or get your head in.
It's like he's ballroom dancing with him, isn't it?
He's so concerned with saying, my job's done, my man didn't score, Xhaka didn't score, that, well, you guys should have done your job. And I just think, if you're going to become the team that we're talking, Arsenal take responsibility all over the field to defend as a unit. And
he could have dealt with that problem, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think he could have.
Yeah, agreed.
Thomas Partey's taken responsibility, hasn't he? The one game they've lost in the league, he was missing at Old Trafford. He's probably the one player who literally is irreplaceable, isn't he?
Yeah. I just think he's a man mountain. He's a big lad. You know, he's powerful and he's picking good passes. He's picking his battles well, the physical battles. He loves taking the ball in pressure situations like that, just pushing people off. I think other teams now are worried about where he's going to be on the pitch. And I think that's when you've got a mindset like that as a midfield player, it becomes difficult.
Do you know, he's just trustworthy for the defenders around him, for his midfield counterparts. We've seen a new Xhaka this season who's prepared to get forward because they trust Thomas Partey to do that job so effectively and so well that the other players play with freedom. They can break forward quickly. They know he's going to keep possession when he's on the ball, but if it breaks down, he's going to win them the ball straight back. And if you've got somebody like that in your team, we call them the manager's dream, don't we? Their first name on the team sheet, they do the exact job that the manager wants, and he's been a real find.
Absolutely has. What about Chelsea? You hope Graham Potter gets time. I'm sure he will get time, despite the fact it's Chelsea. We know what's happened in the past. Is it a question now that he's trying to find his best system while a lot of the players that he would want to play in it are not available because they're injured? Is there sort of, you know, the two have coincided a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think he's a man that's still trying to discuss or find his first and best team and best system. But they look like they're not quite understanding what they're doing. Easy for Arsenal to press them. Aubameyang's on the far side of the pitch, not giving that option down that left-hand side. And I think that, yes, Arsenal were very good today, but Chelsea are still in a team of transition. They're not exactly sure, Dion, how they're certainly not the finished article.
Or maybe he doesn't know exactly Potter.
No, he probably doesn't. I think he's still getting to know his players, to be honest with you. Arsenal knew what they were going to do. I mean, there was so many times. I mean, the press is set three times now. I'm showing you that the press is set. Bypass it. Aubameyang's got to be strong enough to forcing, you know, Chelsea to make mistakes like that because they've got nowhere to go. Thiago, pass it, pass it, pass it. You know, if he passes it early, he'll pass the ball on, he'll pass the time on to Cucurella, and he'll have time to pass to his teammate. Now, there's nothing on. There's nothing at all on. He tries to play a very, very difficult pass. And this happened time and time again. The Chelsea players got frustrated because they couldn't play the game they wanted to play. But it wasn't down to all their bad play. It was down to Arsenal's work on the training pitch, knowing exactly how Chelsea play and stopping it.
But it does feel like that maybe Graham Potter is still searching for the exact system he wants. And I know before the Brentford game he did talk about, maybe sometimes it's this system, sometimes we want to play that way. Do you as footballers not want to know, we're going to play this way. This is how our manager wants us to play. There'll always be a bit of a nuance and a little bit of a twist here and there. But by and large, you want to know how your manager expects
yeah,
you to
absolutely.
play.
And especially, you know, when the new manager comes in and he's got new ideas, you want to know the main ones. You want to know what's the first thing you want to teach us, what's the first system, what's the first style, what's the most important thing you want to tell us. At the moment, Chelsea players look like they've been flooded with so much information, so many different systems that they're not quite sure which is the most important. Chelsea have changed their system and their personnel so often since Graham Potter arrived. Sometimes it's been successful and you can see the shoots of what he wants the team to become, but quite often there just seems a lot of confusion on the pitch.
Arsenal go to Wolves next week, and then of course it's the World Cup. Is it, from Arsenal's point of view, terrible time in the World Cup now, or is it just a chance to reset when everyone comes back, maybe get a player or two in January? If Arteta can say to the board, look where we are here, by the way, back us. We could give Man City a real run for our money.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, to be fair. I think the manager will be thinking, listen, we're flying, please keep the Premier League going. However, he might be thinking exactly what you're thinking. Get me a couple more in January, 2 or 3 more in January. We'll push on, keep these players playing to that standard because there's more pressure from the bench. Arsenal are in a very good place. I think they're being managed very, very well. He knows who's playing best for him in certain positions. And he doesn't complicate it. Very rarely do you see him complicate it. Just go and play the game. If it doesn't go well, speak to them at half-time and they get it around the second half.